This presentation will now go over the various features of the Avenza Maps application. Keep in mind that I'll be demonstrating using an iPad with Avenza Maps for iOS. The Android versions are similar, but some buttons may be in different locations. So first, at the bottom of the screen, we have a Maps, Layers, Store, and Settings buttons. Maps are where all your maps are stored, and they're broken down between maps you've downloaded from the store on top and maps you've imported down below. Next, under Layers, you'll see any layers that have been collected on any of your maps will be stored here. Additionally, you have a location to jump over to the store, and then under Settings you can change certain features such as units of measure, your display, GPS location, etc. Let's go back to the maps, and I'm going to open up a map of the area that I'm in currently. So the first thing to take note is at the bottom middle of the screen is your lat long, and if you want to change the format that the lat long is showing, you just tap on that lat long and it allows you to change or even change it to US National Grid. To the far left, you'll see your location arrow. If you tap it once, it'll bounce to your current location if you are on the map, and you'll see the blue dot showing that I am on the map. If you tap it again, as you navigate, it will show the direction, your direction of travel facing up. If you tap it one more time, then you're no longer locked on your location. And if you want to go back to the north is up, you'll click on the north arrow in the upper right corner of your screen. So at any time, if you want to just bounce back to your location, you can select the arrow in the bottom left corner. Now for dropping a pin. This is important. If you want to drop a pin at your location, you must hit the arrow first. So I'll hit the arrow first, and right next to it I will drop a pin at my location. In order to edit any information related to the pin, I'll hit the I next to it, and I can change the name. This is a draw point. Put draw point 1. I can change the color of the pin if I want. I can give it additional description. I could take a photo, and I could change where the layer is being stored. At that point I will leave it be. If I want to drop a pin somewhere else, a predetermined location that I'm not at, I can move my map around, zoom in, and say I know this little roundabout here is where I want to drop a pin. I'll drop a pin there. I'll change the name to end of road. And we'll drop one more pin at the dam. Okay, so now we have 3 points on the map. And that's a brief overview of how to drop a pin, or if you're more familiar with your GPS, to drop a waypoint. Now towards the lower right hand corner, you have a wrench and then a pin with some lines. So I will hit the wrench first. This is where you can draw and measure lines. You can record GPS tracks. You can find by coordinates. You open your view in Google Maps or plot any photos. I'm going to draw and measure. So right now I want to measure between these points. So I'm going to go ahead and select my first location, and it gives you some instructions. It says tap anywhere, add a vertex at the crosshair, tap and hold anywhere to enter specific coordinates or headings. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button on the lower left that shows a dot crosshair. That will bounce me to my current location, and I just tapped on the map. Now I can move to my second waypoint, and it'll tell me my total distance in feet. I can click next to that if I want to change to miles. There we go. Now I can tap again, and I'm going to now continue my line to my second point. The total distance of those lines are 3.9 miles. Or we'll go back to feet, 20,681 feet. When you're done, you can just hit the check mark that was in the bottom right. I can go back to draw and measure. I can hit the X button. Oh, that just bounces me out. And here's where if I push and hold, I can actually put in a heading and distance. So here's an option for if I want to get a area calc on with a circle. I would hit the button that's the second one in from the right, and that would give me a circular area. Or if I wanted to draw a different area and get some measurements, I can go ahead as I start dropping locations. You can see the measurement icon at the bottom middle. I can change that to a polygon versus line type. And when I'm done, it'll auto-complete and give me 532 acres. Now once we've completed this information, if I want to send anything that I've already placed on the map, this would be waypoints or tracks, then I would hit the icon with the place marker and the lines next to it. Once again, if I want to record GPS tracks, I'm going to follow a road or walk a distance, I would hit record GPS tracks, move along, and that would record on the map for me. So once again, we'll go back to that layers. If I want to send this information now to the situation unit or anyone else that I'm working with in the field, I can go ahead and hit the up arrow in the box. This will bring up our export settings. We can export in KML, or GPX. We can hit the export button. We can export to the mail application, and we can send off an email to who we desire. Okay, really quick point about your layers. If you open up the pin with the lines next to it again, right now there's only one set of layers in here. You may have multiple layers on your map, or there might be, your tracks may be saved as a separate layer. That's when it makes it really important that from this screen here, where it says map features, is where you use your export feature, using that up arrow out of the box, so that you send all of that data in your email. If you were to click on layers right now, and you would see the features within that one particular layer. If you export from here, you're only going to export what's part of that particular layer. You can also manage additional information about that layer property by selecting the I, and allows you to change the name of the layer. It might be advised to add a date to any of the data that's collected at this location for when you send your information in. It makes it a little bit easier to track back in the GIS unit. These are some of the basic tools that are available within Avenza Maps.